Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, and we're into the draft for Game 2, Sam Houston versus North Central College. If we can manage to get to the second champ picked and then get past it, we will have officially made it farther than the other draft in the last game. Apologies for those who watched that first game and didn't actually get to see the draft. There was a problem with the League of Legends client and, spaghetti code and all that, so we got to make it work with what we've got. As the first couple of bands coming out here, Sam Houston now on the blue side. Interested to see what the bands are going to be. North Central College having quite the game in the previous round. Interested to see what Sam Houston believe will need to be the takeaway there. Domia having a hell of a game on the Aatrox, a champion that, we scrutinized a little bit, but managed to deliver on. An impressive performance there. So interesting to see what North Central College are going to want to try and dip into now, as their bands are going to roughly stay the same as they were on the red side. So it is going to be that Aatrox denial away from Domia. Texas A having no desire to play against that. It's going to be the Darius instead. So trading one duelist for another. Darius, an interesting setup. Mundo going to be the answer there for Texas A. Sam Houston, I'm interested to see what they're going to try and respond with what they think is going to be the answers. The Amumu is going to come out, so deciding they want to stack a bunch of this CC. So a lot of potential interesting matchups with Amumu in that one. I do like the CC profile that he does bring, especially if you're going to be contesting the Vi. A lot of AoE ultimate stacking there for Sam Houston, especially with Amumu. And the bandage toss obviously gives you a number of options for long range engage as well. So interested to see what Sam Houston wants to build around that. As Zed's abs looks like he wants to go back to the Nico. A pretty impressive pick there. Scaled well with the Vi, so pretty good wombo combo engage there. Puppycat gonna lock in the Ahri, the signature pick. So interested to see what Puppycat can get done on this one. So good damage profile between Dr. Mundo, Amumu, and Ahri. This comp there for North Central College, though, a lot of damage in this comp. And Darius, another scary pick in terms of top lane capability. This is not a champion that you want to get crazy. There's not a champion you want getting kills. Very difficult to shut down. It's notorious. All those solo queue games that you see your friends in and they all complain about a Darius. Well, this is the Darius they're complaining about. And that is a potential... he's playing with us. It hovers. He was... some conversations going on about whether or not Ivern bot lane would be viable, but should just be the logical ADC pick here. Jhin, if he locks it in, would be his signature pick for Sam Houston, and a champion that gives them a lot of agency, but deciding that they want to go more late game and get a little bit better damage profile with the Zodiacs, not necessarily interested in leaning into comfort in this particular instance. Of course, Aphelios, a champion that he's well experienced on, is that Teemo better not get locked in, or I'm going to write. No, it's just going to be the Zeri pick there. I thought for a brief unconscionable moment that Teemo might get picked, as it is going to be. I like this engage support pick with the Zeri. So Leona Zeri needs no introduction. It's a very potent combo. Obviously, with any engage support, Zeri is going to be fantastic, both with engaging and disengaging. And Leona just has a lot of that point-click CC, something that Zeri absolutely loves, especially running forwards or backwards. It's going to be the Nautilus pick this time, so a switch a little bit there on the supports, as Lyros was playing that Rel on the last game, but this time choosing to go the Nautilus. So again, a little bit more of that engage, disengage. Personally, I'm a huge fan of Nautilus. I think there's a lot that the champion brings to any comp. I think it does tremendously well. It has a lot of strengths, and I think it's something that Sam Houston have started to value a little bit more, especially when they're looking at some of the weaknesses that Enchanter supports have. So across the line for both of these comps, very interested to see kind of the different dichotomy of how these teams want to play. Is Sam Houston covering their mid game a little bit better this time with the Ahri and with the Dr. Mundo. Dr. Mundo's not a champion. It needs a lot of items to come online. You're talking boots, 1.5 items, and he's good to go. And he's also very difficult to gank, again, just with a lot of that base health regeneration he has. However, Darius is a fantastic answer to that with the bleed stacks. So I'm interested to see how Texas A is going to navigate that matchup, because this is not a particular 1v1 that you see Dr. Mundo just winning. Very difficult, I think, for that champion to get ahead without help. So look to see the junglers, affect this matchup, specifically Dre ganks, trying to cover for some of the laning weaknesses that maybe this Dr. Mundo might have. This mid lane matchup is a little bit more interesting for me too, because Ahri now has a lot better damage profile, just kind of the adjustments that's been made over the last several patches, and specifically with some of the items that she can build. I mean, you can go pretty much anything that you want to, really. I mean, if there's an argument to be made for just about any mage item early on. I mean, Everfrost is decent, makes a lot of sense on Ahri. I mean, you can go Luden's Echo. There's a number of items options that you have with Ahri that give you just a number of options to play around with this champion, and is a little bit better of an answer to Nico, not only because of the mobility, so dodging some of these ganks that maybe Lee Warden on the Vi wants to throw in that mid lane, but also helping to engage as well, so dueling that Nuke in the mid lane and then having the ability to roam. Going to be huge for Sam Houston, especially Puppy Cat, who was one of those key players for Sam Houston White in their previous matchup this last week, so interesting to see what they're going to try and do with that champion. The bot lane matchup is also really, really interesting for me because Zeri is one of these champions that does take a while to come online and who just becomes absolutely oppressive, not to mention obnoxious in the late game. I mean, the mobility that this champion has is flat out ridiculous, and I think there's highlight clips everywhere now on the internet now of Zeri being played both in bot lane and in mid lane and just winning solo 1v5 fights. So very difficult to stop this champion when it gets ahead. However, this is a champion that does need a little bit of help, does need some gold, does need some kills, because if it doesn't get it, it takes her a long time to scale. A lot of her items are very, very expensive, especially when you're looking at that Triforce. So interested to see what North Central College wants to do to try and get her ahead, or if maybe they're opting into the scaling game, because on the other side of this matchup, Aphelios has no slashes in ADC. I mean, this is a champion that has been in play for a little while now, and there are highlight reels a mile long of people just getting deleted by Celebrum. I think that's how you say that word. All of those attacks, especially with the moniker Red White Don't Fight, is the champion that loves late game fighting, is able to shred any front line once it gets four items or so. But it does take that time for Aphelios to come online, but is a great team fighting champion. So interesting to see what Sam Houston want to do to make that happen. Again, just kind of looking at what these two comps want to do. So again, it's just small skirmishing there for the side of North Central College, playing around these individual lanes, bringing Vi down in the bot lane when they're ready to make a play for a dragon. Whereas on the side of Sam Houston, it's a lot of team fighting. You're looking at wombo combos there for days. A lot of good peel, a lot of good disengagement, a lot of options to pick fights on their own. But good CC for both these teams, something I like to see. So ease of execution is there for both of these comps. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, and we are on to the rift for game number 2 of Sam Houston State University White versus North Central College. And NCC, they are up one match in this series thus far. Sam Houston looking to get back into the series and push us to a silver scrapes. As we're seeing these squads stack up along the river. No opportunity really for either of these squads to invade. Obviously, trying to look for a pick is always an option. Sam Houston on the red side, a swap over from the blue side. So to get interesting drafts for both these teams, they want to do similar things, but I would say overall the better 5v5 team, with the assumption that Darius does not get fed. Likely to be the Sam Houston squad though, but Darius, Domina piloting this champion, it's a big question mark because this is a feast or famine champion, and notice that he does have the teleport and the flash, so not going the more lane-heavy presence Darius with something like the Ghost and the Ignite, choosing instead to have a little bit more utility. So interested to see what Sam Houston want to do around that. Again, interested to see what adjustments Sam Houston will make, too, in terms of the pacing of the game, because one of the things that happened early on in the last game was, Lee Warden was able to get down in the bot lane and have an effect there, get multiple members of Sam Houston low, especially when mid lanes were roaming, and then transition that into dragon control. They didn't necessarily take the dragon super early, but once they took the first one, they kept constant pressure there and were able just to start stacking them. So interested to see how Sam Houston wants to try and respond to that, if they're just willing to sit back and scale and thinking that they can just be patient with this and continue on with the game plan that they normally have, or if they want to try and preempt this and trade a little bit. As Electrocute's being traded in the mid lane by both of those champions. Easy to proc that rune for both of them. Delmia already trying to make his presence felt in this top lane. Again, just a little bit easier trading for tech side this time. In this top lane matchup. Sam Houston going to be relying on their top lane to have a better match this time. Let's see what he can get. Puppy Cat going to get ignited, though. This should just be him going down, and he is going to do so. Ignite's traded. The spell shield is going to come out there for Zeds, so not going to drop in the end. Just a really, really quick trade on that level 2. Going to take over level 3 now. So first blood going over to North Central College once again. This time on the Nico, the last game it was Domia getting that solo kill in the top lane. So Sam Houston gonna have to start to fight this already. Difference is, though, Texai doing a little bit better in this top lane, though. Yes, he is getting shoved in, but Mundo more than happy to just send into the turret and collect XP, collect CS. And again, Domia is going to be depending on his junglers to kind of help him get started taking down this Mundo. Again, no offensive summoner spells there, so not able to just run in and ignite the Mundo. He's going to get grabbed, though. Texai trying to get out of this, is ticking away on the bleed. Of course, would be an ulti range if that were available, so going to be forced to sit underneath the turret. Draganx waiting in the wings, though, still fairly healthy. Domia does have flash. Texai also have flash, but he's going to need to be careful. Domia going to get landed on the bandage toss. Draganx, what else can he get? The tears are going. Texai trying to hit it, is going to swing the blade, get a little bit of health. Return there. It is going to be a trade kill, but what else can they get? LeWarden not going to get tagged up right now. Is trading. Texai may have been off a little bit more than he could chew. Trying to buy time for Puppycat. LeWarden's going to get charmed up and is going to seeably drop. Texai going to be picking that one up. Sam Houston fighting in the bot lane as well. Scuttleduff trying to get on top of it. Another stun going to land on Lyros. Flash out is ticking away on the Ignite. Zodiac, and he's standing away. A flash out is going to get stunned, so they're likely both going to drop. No, blends the cleanse. First one down, and he's going to get stunned up. Lyros, can he trade? No. Scuttleduff, yes, does get traded in the end. So a 1-4-2 in the bot lane. 3 kills so far for both of these teams. Dead even gold, but Refinery going to be the ultimate winner in this one because he's going to be able to pick up that farm and deny both some of the gold and experience away from Zodiac. But still even in this lane. The most importantly for this top lane matchup, though, Texas A got that gold from the Darius and got the additional assist by helping kill LeWarden. So that's going to help this Mundo get where he needs to be to survive this lane against Domia. Already getting that Bramble Vest. Puppycat landing the charm there. Not getting hit in return, so good trade there. But a massive CS lead, though, for Zeds already. 27-19 in this mid lane. Again, Sam Houston. Now that this dragon is spawning, what do they want to do? What do they want to try and play around? They do have the ability to start forcing tempo just because Ahri and Amumu a little bit better early game champions to force some of these fights, especially Amumu with the double bandage toss. So as Puppycat gonna get stunned up, gonna get electrocuted, is going to proc that. Now we're starting to see a flip of the tempo there in that top lane because now that Texas A has that Bramble Vest, it's gonna be difficult for Domia to trade onto him. So should just be able to continue forcibly pushing the wave underneath Domia's turret. And with the spell shield there, hold on, gonna be Hex Flash there. Lyros trying to see if he can land something. Draganx waiting in the wings. He is there, though. Scuttle is going to go in. There's no flash for the support, so he's just going to die. Scuttleduff going to go down in the end, trying to scuttle on out of there, but nope, not going to happen, my friend. Is Lyros going to land another hook, trying to slow down Refinery. Draganx with no other bandage toss, not able to follow up on that one. Refinery just losing a little bit of health in the end. The LeWarden waiting on this tri-push. Back and forth trades for both these junglers. LeWarden trying to wrap around. Going to depend on whether or not he can get on top of Zodiac. Lyros trying to buy time. He's going to get hit up and he's going to get rooted. Zodiac, can he get out? LeWarden going to get slowed by Lyros. Now Draganx is here. They might look to try and take this. No hook going to go wide. Draganx, can he land the bandage toss? LeWarden going to step out of it. He is going to go wide also. So Draganx just coming back down to buy his lane a little bit more time. Just cover for LeWarden showing up. Excellent body block by Lyros to prevent Zodiac getting knocked up in that fight. And that little trade there likely saved his laner's life. Zodiac still down that CS, still down a little bit of the tempo and the XP despite the gank. And Refinery just going to shove this one back out. So even despite the gank, North Central College still holding on to the tempo in this bot lane. So we'll be able to make a play for the Herald. Or sorry, not for the Herald, for the Dragon once they choose to have LeWarden come up, with obviously waiting for Zeds to shove out that wave in the mid lane and then make a play for it. So we should just see what Sam Houston want to try and do here as a response, unless they believe that they can have Draganx come in and contest for this Dragon. It's not going to be improved smites for either of these junglers. So it would just be a pure 50-50 flip if they were both there. Domia does have the ulti. Texai deciding he wants to try and fight this. Domia ticking down. One more cleaver would do it. Texas going to try and jump in. No, not going to be able to do so. Is he ticking the bleeding stacks? No, it's going to be an E for Domia. He's going to survive that. The whirlwind enough to keep him alive. Texas Texas A, sorry, stepped back into it. Puppycat decided he wants to try and kill Zeds, trying to dash forward. Dragangs is here to follow up. The Unite's going to go down, but not able to get underneath the turret, though. Zed's able just to run away from it. So a kill on the top lane with no response from Sam Houston right now. But with that pressure being exerted in the mid lane, this could open up the map for Sam Houston to fight for this dragon. If they can bait Refinery and scuttle it forward, maybe find a bot lane pick, but Puppycat roaming towards the mid, so this should just be the first dragon going their way. This will be an important pickup for Sam Houston because in the same time in the first game, Sam Houston was already down a dragon. They were already down several kills, but a much better state this time around. Much more even this time around. It is going to be a Hextech Drake to start us off yet again. Don't you just love Hextech Drake? Hextech Drake, I think a little bit of an overpowered Drake with just Chain Lightning and slows. It's a little bit painful to have that as a Dragon Soul. So interested to see what Dragon Soul going to be. This Texas A starting to stack up this wave in the top lane. 1-for-1 overall there. Note, though, that the Executioner's Calling is now in Domia's inventory, though, so deciding that he wants to try and cut down on the sustainability of this Mundo in the top lane, deciding that he's not interested in taking any of these sketchier trades anymore. A couple of Ruby Crystals there, though, in Texas A's inventories. The Herald's going to get summoned in the mid lane, so this will be a bunch of plates going down. This Draganx is going to get rooted up. And the Warden possibly looking to follow that up as well, but after the play gank, that's just going to be it. There's nothing to play for in terms of objectives, so it's just a purely money-style gank where you're just trying to get as many plates as you can, get that gold into the pockets of your mid laner. Of course, it probably would have been better for Lee Warden to just walk all the way away if they wanted that money just to go into Zed's pocket. So interesting that he stuck around, so they might just be deciding to split it. A Scuttledif is going to be here. So the support starting to roam for Sam Houston. So something that we didn't see the last game was the supports getting out of the lane. Even though despite the fact that they were engaged supports, is Zeds is going to get charmed up and get electrocuted for his trouble trying to clear this ward. Which shouldn't be in any danger. Scuttledif waiting in the wings. As they are just going to wait at the last second to clear this out. So 3 showing in that river. As the Warden also gets spotted on the bush. Domia going to fight Texas A right here. Now, this may not be a fight that Texas A wins, though, because the passive is already active. Domia going to land on top of him and is ticking away. Texas A, can he survive it? No, does not. Domia is starting to run away with that match of the top lane, even despite the Bramble Death. That Executioner Caller's doing wonders for him to get back control. And Draganx just a little too late on the play, not able to stop his top laner from going down. And so now for Sam Houston, this is definitely not what you want. You had the Darius under control, so you don't want to see him start to get out of control. Start to see him start picking up kills. This is a champion that can turn a team fight. Zedzap is going to try and land the ultimate. Of course, very difficult to do when Puppycat has charges of that ult to dash out, so not going to be able to land that when no ignites traded. Zed's no flash. Puppycat holding on to hers. Sam Houston. So they've got a dragon to their name. They're only down about 2k gold. And yes, Darius is starting to become a little bit of a problem in the top lane, at least not without help. But they do still have some interesting ways for which to continue to attack the map. Bot lane still more or less going in their favor, even though it is a CSD down there. That is pretty substantial. So they're going to go wide for Lyra's Tome. So what I'd like to see them do now is to try and convert some of this pressure that they're building up both in the mid lane, because Puppycat is constantly keeping Zed's backing, and try and transition it into the top lane, right? So try and knock Domia down, maybe collect just that 150 gold that's sitting there, get it on top of Texas A, and then just get this Mundo out of the lane. Try and put some pressure onto this turret, and just bail the Mundo out of this and start looking towards team fights, and then force the Darius to leave it. Of course, right now, Darius already has the Hull Breaker, though, so not necessarily looking to become this team fight threat right now, rather just focusing on the split push and focusing on becoming a threat that necessarily the members of Sam Houston can't answer alone, specifically making sure that Mundo can't 1v1 him in the side lane and making sure that they're limiting the capability of the Sam Houston top laner. Scuttledif again still here, has the boots, so it's going to be pretty speedy. No completed either yet for either of these supports. Is the roam fairly unanswered right now by Sam Houston, so they feel it looks like that Texas A should just be fine. Is 2-level difference, though, for Domia in this top lane. Texas A just eating a lot of these autos that are forcing him. Now, this is what we're called for Sam Houston to get the gank. Banishtal's going to come down first. Let's see if the ultimate comes down on top of it. Texas A just trying to dodge it. And now it's going to be the ulti coming out of town. Perfectly layered CC. Domia, no, he gets the E and survives it. It's a double kill. It's a disaster for Sam Houston. And a play that looked like they had done it so well turns back into their face. And Domia going to be the recipient of that one. Zodiac, Moonlight comes out, but it's not enough. Lyros going into the Moonlight. As Refinery slays Rylerstone. Puppycat, can you get one though? Trying to trade, dashes forward. Ultimate going to come out. Puppycat, one more dash, one more Q would do it. The E, not enough as well, trying to follow up. Lewarden now is here. The spy's going to come down, so Puppycat chilled. Doesn't have a way to get out of this one if Lewarden commits, but he doesn't. Puppycat living with a sliver of HP. Lewarden's still hanging around, though. Dragon coming up in about 15 seconds. Refinery trying to dash forward, just harassing Zodiac underneath this turret. Scuttledeath possibly looking for an engage here. Doesn't have an item to survive a lot of the turret damage, but wouldn't need much for Refinery just to kill Zodiac. And an incredible outplay by Domia to turn around and get that double kill. The duration of the CC just timing out. Texas A just not quite committing all the way to get the kill. Not enough damage to finish out the Darius before it expired. And Darius turning around, getting that whirlwind, getting the damage down, and surviving off of that lifesteal. Just an incredible effort by this North Central College top laner. Now Sam Houston, that's definitely not what they wanted. 4-1-0. Darius now cannot be answered without help in this top lane, and possibly not without less than 3 members, as this Dragon starting to go down, about 2,500 health. Dragang's trying to find his way in here. Does have ultimate. Is not going to be able to steal it, though, and is going to get jumped on. Scuttledeath trying to get on top of him. The team fight is now started in earnest, and Sam Houston just trying to get away. They're running for the hills, but they're not going to be able to get all the way. Refinery knocks Dragang's back in, and the Warden's going to pick that one up. Puppycat dying to Refinery, trying to get in. Puppycat, can he survive? One more dash, though, is going to drop, and North Central College, they're going to win the team fight. They're going to get the Dragon and a tremendous amount of gold going in their pocket. And now Lyros, oh no, stuck underneath this turret. Where else can he go? Lyros nowhere to go on this one. A bonus goal activated, but that's of little help to Sam Houston, who are now getting thrashed across the map right now. They lost the team fight, tried to get in there and steal the Dragon. They got reversed, engaged by Scuttledeath. A fantastic turnaround and a great pickup, and a lot of that gold going exactly where it needed to. Zeri now 4-0-2, the happy recipient of that one. And now Sam Houston, they're going to be in full damage control for the next couple of minutes to try and get back in this. Just an incredible effort by North Central College to deny the play of Sam Houston. It's not over yet. Scuttledeath going to land its ultimate on top of Texas A. Still eating this turret, though, but Dragang's is here to respond. Scuttledeath going to try and flash out of this one. It's going to drop to just 1 health. Domia still eating turret shots. Can they trade him? No, he can't. Yes, he does, though. The turret coming in big. Shutdown gold going over to the Mundo. Exactly where you needed it to go. Puppycat going to land the charm on top of Zeds. And Sam Houston, that was a big play. Yes, you do trade Dragang's for it, but honestly, that's what you needed to do because of Mumu helping. That Mundo going to shut down gold. It's not over yet. Lyros landing a huge hook. Zed's going to get charmed up. Puppycat trying to jump in. Zed's ticking away, not going to drop. And now Levi is on top of this. RA trying to get away. Scuttledeath also trying to get away. Lyros, how much time can he buy? Puppycat just enough to get another couple of abilities off because now Texas A is here, and he's got a Texas-sized cleaver for the entirety of this North Central College squad. Puppycat's going to get a kill. Texas Eye's going to get a bunch of assists. And now this Mundo's feeling a whole lot better. Sam Houston, massive response that they needed to make in this. Turning around, getting that shutdown goal off of Domia, getting themselves back in this game. Of course, they're not out of the woods yet. Still a couple thousand gold down. And still down a little bit of pressure on items, but a much-needed fight for them. A much-needed team win for them. And Sam Houston starting to climb their way back in this game. And, most importantly, haven't really dropped much across the map. Yes, it is one tower in the bot lane, but they haven't suffered much anywhere else. They started up the Herald. Not going to be able to finish this, though. Not with Darius waiting in the wings and not with Nico still there. As Lyros going to land a hook. Refinery going to get stunned up underneath the turret, but should just be fine. Trying to trade. And the Scuttledeath there now. Looking like she wants to go on Zodiac. Not going to be able to do that, though. So Scuttledeath just going to waste the ultimate. Not get much for it. Dragang's trying to get on top of Zedzap. Puppycat is here if they can convert. Charm is going to go wide. One more dash forward. Puppycat just to knock down a little bit of damage. The second turret going down to the top lane for North Central College. Make no mistake, folks. Sam Houston, they've done a lot to try and collect some of that gold, and a good job of doing it is Zodiac going to get caught in his own jungle. Just going to die immediately. Dragang's just watching helplessly. His Gromp's going to get taken now, so North Central College starting to make their presence felt across the map and invading into the sectors that Sam Houston don't have vision in. And just a lot of darkness waiting for this Sam Houston squad right now. Not a lot that they can do about that, as this mid lane turret would go down with just a little bit of effort. As Lyros Toba is going to show up there. Texas A, can't he get himself out of this one, though? He does have this speed. If he can find himself over the blast cone, couldn't get himself out, but he's going to get slowed up. Texas A is going to pop the ultimate, but no, not enough right now. Forces is deceptive, folks. Never look at the health bars too closely when it's a Darius, because it's always one swing away from being full. It's going to dash in, flash out from Texas A. And now the ultimate is going to come down on top of Scuttledeath, going to land his own ultimate for good effect. Domia going to pick that one up, and this Darius just right back to his solo, well, not solo, but duo bolo killing ways. Sam Houston, 2-on-3. They want to take this fight. Domia no ultimate, so it would be difficult for him to survive this. They're going to focus him down first. As Zodiac trying to lay down the damage. No, it's going to be a Muma to walk away with that one. Scuttledeath just saying, see ya, buddy, as he walks out of that one. Cydia wouldn't want to be ya. Domia just going to drop down for 30 seconds. So Sam Houston has 30 seconds with this Darius is not alive to do something with. But with 20 seconds until this Dragon, they're not necessarily in a spot to take it, as North Central College are already positioned to do so. Unless Dragons fancied himself a smite fight on a 50-50. Zed's going to get rooted, going to get followed up on. Tries to dash out so far, but now is low health. Would just be one shot for anybody to try and get on top of him. Sam Houston, though, forcing their way into this river. Domia is up in now seconds. No wards necessarily behind Sam Houston to teleport on. Wood does have the minion wave. Sorry, Wood does have the minion wave. Now Sam Houston starting off this Dragon is going to reset right now, trying to bait this North Central College team forward while they don't have the Darius. It's going to be the teleport from Texas A. Can Darius get there first? No, he's just getting there now. Sam Houston, they got to win this fight before Darius gets here, because Domia is here and he's going to collect one. What else can they get? Sam Houston just trying to trade into where they can. Refinery is going to kill the Amumu. Texas A just trying to survive this. It's a double kill for Domia, triple kill for Domia, and the Dragon's going to go as well. It's Sam Houston. They needed to pick that fight sooner, needed to try and get it before Darius could get there, but just weren't able to do so. And Domia is starting to dominate across this map, 9-3-0. The absolute beast of a top laner that this North Central College squad has been utilizing, and now Domia with this hull breaker in the mid lane is just going to start knocking down these turrets, going to collect a bunch of this gold. And unfortunately, folks, this Darius is what we call a little bit of a problem. And Sam Houston going to have to find a way to try and shut this Darius down, because it looked like in that fight, Sam Houston just trying to start the Dragon off, trying to bait North Central College into a fight quick enough to try and get down their carries, but Refinery surviving so long, Scuttle buying so much time in that team fight. Domia got there, teleporting to that mid lane, just walked on in. And by the time Texas A got there, just wasn't enough time for him to do anything. And now Sam Houston, they're going to have to survive the next couple of minutes until Zodiac can start to get online, start to finish a couple more of these items, because several members of this NCC squad are online now. Zeri has that Black Cleaver, has the Trinity Force completed, so he's going to be able to just straight shred through Texas A. Divine Thunder completed for the Vi, and Darius, with the Executioner's Calling, does have the Hull Breaker and some bargain bin items, so just going to start to complete those out. And again, support items not really mattering too much right now than just beyond the standard. Nothing special to talk about there. Refinery's going to pick up this blue buff. Always a fun donation to get when you're an AC. And Zodiac forced to get on out of there. Going to be denied the red buff, so North Central College pressing on all fronts right now. Lyros trying to check this. It's going to get grabbed back in and likely punished for the sin of being too close. Moonlight Vigil's going to come out. Sam Houston, what can they get? They're trying to pick a couple of these members. A bunch of ultimates blown. And the health bar is still pretty healthy for this North Central squad. And now Sam Houston missing some of their engage. You still have the Nautilus ult to work with, but not an interesting... Or sorry, not the squadron of the map that you want to be trying to fight over. In the end, it is just a red buff. So Sam Houston choosing just not to die for it today. North Central College, they're going to start to press the screws in now, as the saying goes. Another Dragon in about 2 minutes and 50 seconds. So that's something that they can force on. Obviously, Sam Houston don't necessarily need to fight for what would be the fourth Drake of the game, but they would be on soul point if they didn't. But they do right now have the option to just try and continue and wait for Zodiac and Texas A to continue to get stronger, continue to give them time to scale and get some of these items. Most importantly, give Zodiac time to get to his second item, start working on his third item, and just start funneling all the gold that they can into that carry. But right now, if you're looking across the board, massive gold and experience leads for everyone on this NCC squad, and Texas A gonna have to get himself out of here. Would find himself stunned up. I mean, if you're just looking in top lane, it's 159, 130. Of course, they haven't been in the laning phase for some time now, but still, it's indicative that Domia is taking up a bunch of these resources. Significant lead in the jungle, not so much in the mid lane, but significantly in the bot lane. Refinery, 198 CS on the Zeri, 7-0-3 right now. So he's starting to reach this point where it's going to be very difficult for Sam Houston to kill the Zeri. So Sam Houston now going to have to be more and more careful on how they navigate these fights, because there are several damage threats between Domia and between Refinery. Very difficult to win a team fight, especially if Domia is helping in on the engage. If they're getting a clean engage with Zeds and with Scuttle, these two utility champions, and just making the most use of them, as Domia's going to spot out Texas A waiting in that small brush. And again, just content to put pressure on Sam Houston, wait for them to make an error. And Sam Houston, you really are waiting on Lyros and Texas A to kick off this fight. We're waiting for them to make a mistake. Refinery going to get spotted out in the bush. Hook's going to land. Slow's going to go on top of it. And this may be what they needed, because Sam Houston, they're not going to get a better fight than this one. Quincy's immediately to come out. Ultimate to come on top of it. Sam Houston, they've got to turn. They've got to get something. Ultimate's going out. One's going to drop so far. Zodiac's going to be the first to fall, though. And now it's gone wrong for Sam Houston again. They can't get out of here. They're trying to run, but Domia won't let a puppy cat. The only one left standing for Sam Houston. 4 are going to fall. No, they're all going to fall. Domia's going to make sure it's a triple kill. And they're going to go over to the Baron, because that's the prize you get when you win the team fight. Sam Houston are ace near their base in North Central College. They're going to start the final march of this game. They're going to pick up this Baron, and likely they're going to go get that that Dragon Soul too, because why not? When you're a winner, you win big. Sam Houston, they thought they had a moment there, thought they had caught Refinery, landed the hook, landed the slow, but just a little bit of hesitation there, not committing entirely to get Refinery. That was their chance. Just that moment of hesitation gave Domia, gave Lewarden a chance to get back in, gave Scuttlediff a moment to get the ultimates down and buy time for Zeri. And in the end, Domia coming up big, 12-3-1 on that Darius. Yes, Refinery did drop in the end, but it's a massive win there for North Central College. And Sam Houston, they're just trying to do what they can to get what they can on the map. It's Baron on all 5 members of North Central College. Sam Houston, they're just trying to get what they can, but this is maybe not necessarily a fight they need to take, because now Domia's in the backline again. Zodiac trying to get away from him. Domia going to chase him down, hooks him back in, and he's going to fall, but Domia will die for his sins. And now Sam Houston, now they have a fighting chance. Zeri's going to blow the ultimate, going to get knocked up by the Nautilus. Blue team's going to get the Dragon, but what else can they get? Lewarden going to ulti down on top of Dragon. He's going to fall. Texas A just trying to buy time, but not able to. Zeri going to get another kill. Texas A all on his lonesome, watching his family dead. A puppy cat, you don't get to run either. It's going to be a double kill for Zeri and a team fight win for North Central College, and they're marching towards the base. They may not have the Darius, but they don't need him, because you've got a Zeri who's got a bunch of items and she's ready to rock and roll. Sam Houston, they tried to force a fight near the Dragon, tried to get back in the game, but they weren't able to. Weren't able to buy the time that they needed again, just trying to make something happen. And Zodiac trying to get away from Domia, just wasn't able to. Is the end not going to come right now, as the members of Sam Houston are going to start to respond 26 minutes into this game. The respawn timers are still reasonable, but North Central College, make no mistake, this is their game to lose. 29-12 in the base, more than a 12,000 gold lead. It's so much gold, they're going to be whacking Sam Houston with money bags. Those are the kind of punches that hurt, because it's not gold coins, it's gold bars in those bags, and they're hefty bags. Hefty AAA rated bags. Sam Houston, they're now in complete and utter turtle mode. You don't exit your base except for anything other than a sure team fight win, and it's likely going to be 4 members trying to kill Domia, who is likely just going to try and run Texas A down here, unless a bunch of members of Sam Houston just get here to stop this. But No, North Central College just deciding they want to try and back off this one and just play it patient. Not wanting to give Sam Houston anything at all. Don't want to even remotely give Sam Houston a chance to get back in this game. As Dragang's going to have to get away from this one, but it's going to get rooted up. Refinery, just so much damage. He's dead. It's almost, you hate to see it. Just the jungler trying to clear out the super minions in the mid lane, but that's not where you belong, buddy. And North Central College quick to let him know that. And now this Zeri, 9-1-9. You've got two people that are problems on this team, and just no way to respond for Sam Houston right now. They're getting run down on their own base. The Scuttledip's just going to eat that damage, eat several ultimates and several auto attacks from Zodiac, and just says, it's okay. I'll just continue on about my day. As Domia becoming a nuisance in this top lane. Texas down 3 levels, just trying to find time, but no, not going to be able to. He has to flash out. Scuttledip going to blow the ultimate on top of it, but this turret is going down. It's not a question. And now North Central College, how much can they make this hurt? They're trying to get all 5 members here in this top lane and just start to push this in. Waves of supers in the bot lane. So Sam Houston, if you want to make a heroic final stand, you've got to do it now, because there are minions in your base and they are starting to do work. And Domi, I'm more than happy to sit here, is going to grab Lyros and she's going to go down. Texas forced to just watch as he can do nothing. Throwing out abilities, trying to hit as many people as they can. But this North Central squad just shrugging off the damage. The other one who's even below half on that entire team is Scuttledip, who's just watching as Yari's going to get stunned up, and it's a follow-up from Laward, and she's just going to drop. Zodiac not able to do anything. Top lane turret going to fall, and now it's the full court press for North Central College. And this should just be the final march as the one going to drop in one more time. Ultimate coming out on top of it. Texas not able to do anything. Dragang's just going to watch as he's all two going to get run down. North Central College, it's a double kill for Lewarden in the end. They're going to knock down the final turn, and they're going to knock down Sam Houston in a 2-0 victory.